You know how we get down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Hey, how's it going? This is Ed for another session of Heights of Gaming video series. So today I'm going to tell you about the most profitable game in all of TCGs, which is actually Yu-Gi-Oh! Draft. Now, Magic the Gathering Draft, which actually I personally enjoy more than Yu-Gi-Oh! Draft, but that's the thing is that it can make you more money in the final analysis, because if you're winning the World Championship, then you could get like $40,000 cash, checks, cars, trucks, paid flights to, all over the world. It's really awesome, but the thing is that usually to get to that point, it requires like a higher level of, buy-ins. You probably have to enter a large tournament, pay $40 to get in. Then from there, you have to battle it all out with other people, usually in constructed, maybe in sealed, and then you'll finally progress to the top tables where you have an opportunity to draft for the top prize. So it's not as simple as just sitting at a table, without and usually Magic Draft takes a long time. Usually it takes for a draft it could take up to 2.5, 3 hours with 8 people. But if you have a Yu-Gi-Oh! Draft, it could be easily over with an hour and a half. So it's just the amount of time investment is just better for a Yu-Gi-Oh! Game. Okay, it's just faster. So so let's get into it. How do we draft? What is drafting? So the thing about drafting is that when you play constructed, it's really more dependent on good matchups. Like if I didn't bring in side cards for burn or deck out mill strategy, or I get OTK'd. And by the way, in Yu-Gi-Oh! Constructed games, OTKs are just really easy to do, especially right now. You have 3 Mystical Space Typhoons, a Heavy Storm, Blackluster Soldier, Envoy the Beginning, you have Dark Arm Dragon, you just have, it's very easy to sweep the field and then come in with 5,000, 6,000, maybe even 8,000 attack points of damage. You have, what's the other guy? You have Malefic Cyber and Dragon, just monsters coming out of nowhere with, 3,000 attack rate, take off like a third of your life points, maybe more. So, with draft that doesn't happen. You don't have Dark Hole, you don't have Heavy Storm, it's just the cards that are in the pack. So, I have some cards right here that are just some random cards that I got from, Generation Force, which is actually the latest booster set. So, when I look at the cards right here, it's just the cards that I would be able to use to make a deck with. So I open my pack, which is 9 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I decide which cards are best to make a deck with. I would probably, in this pack right here, take Drill Barnacle would be a good pick, and Pernicious Puppeteer would be, these are okay. This guy only has 300 attack, usually that's not good. Usually I would take a high attack 4-star monster, or high defense, or maybe a 1-sack monster that has a good ability, but just, this Goblinberg has a good ability. Maybe I would take him. He has a 1,400 attack, that's pretty solid, but there's 1,800s that he's going to die going up against, so it's just not really necessarily the best thing. There's also another card in the set called Attention that can really blow him out. Like if you have different stars on the field that penalize you for having different stars on the field, and Goblinberg really kind of sets you up for that. So that's another thing about draft. You really have to understand what cards are in the set, and then know that's the that's kind of like the words of vocabulary and the languages, the draft, and then that's how you're going to converse with other people. So you have to know what threats are there and how you're going to respond to those threats. So what happens is that you take 9 cards, then you would take a card. I would probably start off with this. Maybe I would take a Goblinberg. There's 2 of them. Maybe I would take this Drill Barnacle, and I would take one and put it on the side, and that would go into the pool of cards that would make up my deck. Then I would take the rest of the 8 cards and I would pass it to the person on the left. Someone would pass me 8 cards from my right. I would look at the 8 cards and I would make another selection. If I got this pack and I say, oh look, it's exactly the same pack, I would take a Pernicious Puppeteer next, and then I would pass the cards off. And then eventually, you do this with 3 packs. That's 27 cards total, because 9 times 3 is 27. And then what happens is that your first pack you pass to the left, the second pack you pass to the right, and the third pack you pass to the left. And taking 1 card each time. Then you make a deck of 20 or more cards, and then you duel against everybody else until everybody has a placement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the top 4 going, the winning 4 go into their own bracket called the winner's bracket. The losing 4 go into the loser's bracket, and the top 4 duel it out for positions 1, 2, 3, and 4. And This is why it makes so much. This is why it payouts so much better than any other TCG. In Magic the Gathering, a lot of the cards have usage beyond Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Usually in each set you're only going to have like 2 or 3 cards really usable and constructed. This happens in Magic the Gathering too, but it's not so severe with the price differentials. So in Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards can easily go $50, $100, sometimes even $150. These just happen on a regular basis, and sometimes $250. It happens probably much. I would say almost every year this card goes about $250. So what happens is that you throw all the rares and howls at the middle of the table. You separate them from the commons, and then whoever the first place gets to choose the first rare hollow on the table. Second place gets second pick, third place gets third pick, etc., etc. In a Yu-Gi-Oh! Box, you're going to have 1 secret, 2 ultras, 1 ultimate, and about 4 supers. That means a total of 8 hollows in each box, and you're going to have about, every pack should have a rare. So everybody at the table should get 3 rares. Everybody at the table should get 1 hollow, right? And let's suppose that, I didn't have a good day, blah, 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 I finished 5th. If you're finished 5th out of 8, you're still going to get either a secret, an ultra, an ultimate, or there's always a money super. So money super could be like Reborn Tengu, it could be like Darkstruck Fighter, it could be like 6 Samurai Kaizen. These are all super rares that easily exceeded $20 in value, maybe even hit $40 in value. So if I'm finishing 5th place and I put $10 in for a draft and then I'm walking away with a $40 card for finishing 4th or 5th, that's ridiculous. That's really, really good. So just the fact that everybody gets something, even if you lose, and also the game is much more fair. When you play against other people in Constructed, you could just have, someone just OTKs you with the crazy hand setup, you just have a bad hand. You can't mulligan like you can in Magic, so it's just you have less control over that, and then you just lose the game, and then you're eliminated from the finals, and then, if you're playing a larger event, like 100 people event, it's going to be 7 rounds, that's going to be 7 hours, plus setup time, that's going to be 8 hours, then the finals, that's 10 hours, that's your whole entire day, and then if you don't finish in the top, 4 or 5, you're probably not going to make your money back. You might get a playmat, playmat's probably worth maybe 30, 40 bucks. I could work a job for 8 hours and get 40 bucks out of that, Not that, it's not, not that you're not having fun, things like that, but you're also having fun drafting. And when you're drafting, you're playing different cards that you might never play, like Drill Barnacle. I would never play that in a constructed deck. Well, I might, but it's not going to be very competitive. But in a draft, any strategy is open and anything can happen. It's just so much more fun and so much more diverse of a play format. So, and the prize payout's way better, and it finishes faster, and you're walking away with money. In my lifetime of drafting, I've won 4 Crush Cards on the Hot. I won 4 or 5 Dark Arm Dragons, 4 or 5 Judgment Dragons. This is all when the cards were at the peak of their value, and I just flipped them really quick. I sold them for about 100, 150. I didn't care if if people thought they were going to go up or they were going to go down. I just flipped it for that quick money. An hour and a half, I got 80 bucks. Bam, just went to the next draft. Maybe got a $20, $30 card. Bam, went to another draft. Got another $20, $30 card. You could just cycle this infinitely, and it's just really awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys start getting into drafts. If you want, you can also check us out at heightsofgaming.com. We sell boxes for $58.50. So if you tell your friends, 6 of your friends if you get 7 of your friends to draft with you for $58.50, then basically your draft set is free. All right, have a good one. Thank you.